Hi Jackie, welcome to today's interview. I really want to thank you firstly for taking the time and making the effort to come down. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, a bit of background?
Oh, where do I start? From the day I was born or from the career? I suppose the fundamental part of my background is the fact that I grew up on a farm in Cornwall. And in the back of my mind, I'm always just the farmer's daughter from Cornwall.
Wow.
But then moving on from there, going to university, doing a degree in computing and business, taking different parts of my life out to travel and meet different people, get different experiences. I realised that I suppose the forming part of that, those early years, was community, and how strong the community are, and people pulling together, and people who are completely different. Who ordinarily may have nothing in common, but the geography means that they're there and they support each other, and their families have known each other for generations for some of them. So community is a big part of who I am, but in the modern day that takes different forms. That might be the Facebook community, the LinkedIn community, it might be, in our case, the BeCollaboration community, it might be my House of Colour community, and there are different communities I have in my life. I've clearly got the school community revolving around my children's school.
So that's quite a complex life. I mean, you know, one of the things that one of the themes that have been around in the last few videos we've done is the speed of change now has become constant.
I can't keep up.
Can't keep up.
I'm chasing my own.
You get used to one PDA, one phone, another one comes, a different operating system.
I couldn't do it.
An update, you know.
I couldn't do it without those technology tools, actually. My life is run, and the fact that my diary syncs back to my computer, so the same diary's in the same place, and my phone has got my address book, my contacts, everything, but it's one small, you know, gone are the days of the thick file of fax or the big brick phone from the 80s. All those things help me achieve living life to the full, really.
And I was going to say, what's the end game? Is actually that you just answered the question. It's like living your life to the full, having it all, having the fun,
having as much as possible, giving everything my best shot to try and get it all, or not get it all, but have it all in the sense of the experience. And I also notice that I try and do that for my children and the people around me. So if the two boys want something different, one wants to stay at creche and stay a bit longer at school and the other wants to come home early, if it's within my powers, I'll try and make it happen.
So we flex up.
Yeah.
So we've known each other for quite some time now. When we met, we was doing some personal development, transformational work back in the late 90s, which is quite a long time ago now. And our lives have changed a lot since then. We've both got families now, we both run businesses. Tell us a little bit about what does it take for you to run a business. You know, tell us a bit about your business first, and then maybe kind of look at how we interact that.
Well, House of Colour is a franchise organisation. We have about 150 franchisees. About 90% of those are based in the UK, but we have a global presence. We have some in the States, we have some in Australia, we've got one in France, we've got a few in Greece. So they're scattered all over, 2 or 3 in the Middle East. But I came into this business as a consequence of understanding who I am, and that I want to be able to express that through the work that I do. So I don't want to be just doing a job for money. I want to be able to feel that I'm playing and earning money at the same time, if you like. Lately I've been describing it as I want to do business over coffee and lunch, because I just love meeting people, love talking to people, love creating ideas, love connecting people, moving from one possibility to another, and then it turns into, it actually manifests into something real. And for me with House of Colour, when I started in this business, I was a consultant, and it was a very practical way to give that to people, because when you look at how we look and how that's connected to how we feel, and then how we feel is connected to how we perform in life, we get the results in all our areas. We get confidence to be ourselves, confidence in forming new relationships, confidence in performing at work, confidence in getting job promotions, securing sales, anything. So the benefits are ongoingly and kind of hit every area of your life when you start to work on your life. Absolutely. And if it happens to be colour and image, or it could be communication style, it could be how you manage your productivity all the time. You do it through coaching. I incorporate coaching. My personal style of delivering the material incorporates coaching. But coaching, when I looked into it, wasn't quite tangible enough for me. I wanted to give people something really tangible that they could take and use and implement and embed as an unconscious competence in their life. So it's not about focusing a lot of time and energy on how you look. It's about focusing that time and energy in the learning period so that eventually it's just automatic.
So it's a bit like when you first start to drive. It's all a bit weird and awkward, and do I look, mirror, indicate, or do I indicate, look, you know, and then suddenly, once you become unconsciously competent, you just do it as part of your everyday operating.
Absolutely. And then now that I'm one of the co-owner directors of House of Colour, for me, the leverage is that I can now do that for our consultants. So the consultants can provide that to their clients, but our consultants as self-employed franchisees, as subcontracting consultants within another franchise area, whatever the format of their business, it's about them being able to self-express themselves and them being able to pass that on to their clients.
So it's almost like it doesn't really matter what you do in business, it's actually who you're being.
Yes.
And your commitment to, you know, impact other people's lives. And again, that's been a theme that's been coming out of the videos that people have been sharing, and what's important to them is actually make a difference, contribute, see their work in the lives of others, kind of adds value to your life as well. It's like an ongoing bonus in your life.
I get a kick out of helping people do better for themselves. And when I left university, my computing degree took me into a computing career. And I suppose because of my background in community and people and the way I've been brought up, I ended up in training, customer service, help desk, projects. I describe myself as the interpreter between the business and the technical team. But when I look back at it with the hindsight of now, I used to teach people how to make the most of their boxes, and now I teach people how to make the most of their boxes. And actually, if you take that into business, I want to teach people how to make the most of their business box, whatever that might be.
So it's like identifying those limits and expanding that, and getting people to see there's more available here. Because quite often people say, oh, you know, we talk about how much opportunity there is now, and then we're going to come on to the future, is how much opportunity and how it's leveraging up and how quickly it's coming at us. That actually, you can imagine a lot of people feel a bit maybe paralysed or a bit kind of in the you know, in the headlights, a bit like, where do I start? Where do I go? What would you say to someone that's
well, there's a danger with our life because everything's possible. It's a bit like that celebrity status. We're reaching for something that's always just out of reach. And so there's a danger of always wanting to live for tomorrow. You have to plan for tomorrow, you have to aim for tomorrow, but you have to live for today. So for me, it's about making the most of the resources that you've got. You know, you might want this flashy car, you might want a nice house, you might want 2 houses, you might want a different kind of job, you might want a relationship that you don't have, or a different slant on the one you've got. But actually, the only place you can start is with what you've got. So take stock of that, make the most of it, because if you make the most of what you got, you can then move on to the other things.
There's a book I read years ago called Acres of Diamonds, that apparently everything you want is right here under your feet. You don't have to go that far, which is kind of exactly what you're saying. So that's fantastic. So let's tell us about your, you know, you were around when I first started talking about BeCollaboration.
Yes.
Do you remember?
I remember very
We used to run the business club back then. It was about 2.5 years ago. And I started to talk about this notion of getting great people and putting them in a place and magic will happen. And you kind of got involved, well, although you didn't get involved in BeCollaboration straight away, you were kind of straight away encouraging it and saying, this is fantastic, you've got to go with it. And how has it, in your mind, how has it been developing? How do you see it? You know, why would someone want to be part of our community as a collaborator, or possibly come to our community to have us help them or work with them in any area of their business or organisations?
I built my business when I was a franchisee, early days of House of Colour, on business networking. I went to exhibitions, I had stands, I gave talks, I had a stand at the East of England show, which was in my local area. And I built the business purely on building relationships. And then those relationships, the ones that became clients, became referrals. And in fact, some that didn't become clients, I built the relationship strong enough such that they would refer me when it came up in conversation. That has moved on now, in that I believe we don't operate in and of ourselves. Sure, we have a standalone product that we can deliver, but the real power is in leveraging that by pulling it together with something else. So if you've got someone who's fantastic in the sales environment, then put together what I now call personal branding. It is how you look, it's how you present yourself, but it's much more a sense of getting who you are and being able to present that physically as well as in every other form. And so therefore it's the coming together of those forces that we can achieve more.
So it's a little bit more sophisticated, isn't it? It's a little bit more, you've got to put more work into it. You've got to kind of find the right fit with the other collaborators. got to get to know.
Yeah.
Got to kind of. I think you said to me today, I've got an opportunity that's perfect for BeCollaboration, which I'm dying to hear about. But it's like that exactly. It's like you couldn't do it on your own.
No.
You can't.
No.
You know, if you could do it on your own, then it's not. You know, you can crack on. You know, do it. And there's a time for that, and there's a lot of people out there do. But now with the internet, with technology, with people wanting more from their lives, someone said to me the other day about the loneliness of the internet. How we've become reliant on it. You can sit behind a software package and share ideas. You can even do videos and send them all over the world. But at the end of the day, people want to be around other people, and like-minded people. And I think that was the thing that kind of really spurred us on.
Yes, but what I've noticed about the people in BeCollaboration, they're all, from what I've seen so far, they're all amazing people. They've all got something to offer. But the big thing is they all have a strong sense of knowing who they are. And when I know who I am, I know what I want, I know what I give, I know what I need to fill my fuel tanks so that I can keep giving. And I think it's that strong sense of knowing who I am and what I want to contribute and what I need that enables me to connect quickly with people and then create the ideas. So for example, the person I was meeting this morning, I won't go into the details of it, but it was just a meeting. We met at a conference. I said, let's follow up, let's have a coffee. We don't live too far from each other. Let's just explore, get to know a bit more about your business, about what I can offer, what you can offer. It may go nowhere, but let's explore it.
That's exploratory, that process of finding out where could this go.
In the process, it sounds like an amazing business. Now, in a selfish world, I'd go, oh, I need that, and I need that, and I need that. But I'm sitting there going, this is an amazing business. I can't do that on my own. And in fact, I might not be the best person to take that forward. I don't even think you are. But with your network, you'll know more people. And with his network, he'll know more people. And with her network, she'll know more people. And so it's bringing that together and coming together on a level of values and passions and purpose, I think, is where people then feel truly themselves, and that's where the power comes.
I mean, one of the things we've been citing is a kind of part of our building traction now when we're talking to people about their getting involved with BeCollaboration, either as a collaborator, i.e. a member or part of the community, or someone that actually is looking for us to solve problems or work with them to develop their organisations, is we're talking about if you like, the societal norm out there is one of competition, scarcity, and there's a lot of fear. I mean, if you just... Someone said to me today, I don't watch TV anymore, I haven't watched it for, and a lot of people now are cutting out TV altogether. And I'm sure you probably don't even get time to, even with the PVR, you just don't get time. But the thing is that a lot of what you hear on the telly is actually quite negative. A lot of what you read in the press is negative, it's fear-driven. And, if you keep people in fear, they shrink, they look at things in a smaller way, they look at it from a point of view of scare. If I share my ideas with you, how do I know you won't steal them?
Yeah.
How do I know you won't take my clients? How do I know? There isn't enough to go around, so I've got to protect what I've got. And I think where we're going with collaboration and this new era, this new paradigm, is actually, you know what, there's enough. And if you know who you are, you've got nothing to be afraid of. I can't copy Jackie Perkins, no matter how much I try. You can't copy Erkan Ali or you just cannot copy me because I know who I am, I know what I stand for. Now that didn't happen overnight, that took a while to work that through. So for us, we're finding the people that are attracted to this proposition, people who've kind of done some work on themselves, have found out more about what's important to them and want to find others that feel the same way.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That would make sense. So let's talk about the future. How business life and all things.
Business life and all things.
What are you thinking about for 2015? Here we are coming to the end of the year. Do you think of things in those terms, like that's the end of 2014, next year's a new?
I've always found the Christmas New Year period very powerful. There's this frantic urgency. It can be hidden underneath, out there in the shops. People are going mad buying their Christmas presents. So it can be camouflaged by believing it's about Christmas, but there's also something, people are trying to finish up projects, they're trying to tie up loose ends, they're trying to do it, it's like before the holiday period, before the summer holiday, whatever the holiday.
There's like a momentum, there's a flurry of activity.
There's an end point that they're getting to, and the end point in this case is the year, so it's almost like a double whammy, double powerful one, because you've got a holiday season, but you've also got a new year. A friend of mine a couple of years ago said she went to bed early on New Year's Eve, because she didn't want any more of this year. She wanted to have next year.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, get it out of the way. And I thought, yeah, that's at some level.
It's a
that's
demarcation.
It's
a demarcation.
Why would you wait any longer in this year and hold on to the past when you can go to bed and feel like next year comes quicker?
But you know, that kind of goes counter-culture or counterintuitive in the way of like when I coach people, because one of the things I say is now's the time. You know, you do. You know, the cut-off point is when you make that choice to change, transform an area. But for 2015, what do people watching this video need to be thinking about, or where do they need to have their attention in the year coming up?
I think it's on doing what feels right. I believe if people follow their passions and use their skill set in a positive way for the greater good, you know, it sounds all very evangelical, but actually if they do all of that and find a way to earn their money that is in line with who they are and their values. So part of that is the navel gazing, if you like, looking at who you are, what's important to you, keeping a focus on that, because as soon as we start compromising our own values, then we're sabotaging our true self, and then we turn into the negative person. It's like two sides of the same coin. Every character has got a positive side and a negative side, and at any point we have a choice whether we want to display and express the positive or display and express the negative. Are we going to be generous in this instant, or are we going to be stingy? Are we going to be kind?
I guess a lot of that's to do with the company you keep. There's the old adage, isn't there, in personal development, if 9 of your friends are broke, guess what, you're number 10. Or if 9 of your friends are negative, guess what, you're number 10. And it's who you surround yourself with and what you expose yourself to in terms of what you read, what you watch, what you listen to.
Yeah.
And it's easier now than ever to be exposed to great material. But on the same token, it's easy to be still exposed to a lot of negative or something that's not contributing to your growth and your commitment.
Absolutely. And it's about choosing what you listen to and being selective. And if you're focused on what you want ultimately, it's not necessarily knowing that you want to get a purple chair, but you might want a new suite for your living room, and you've got a sense of a colour scheme or a style scheme, or maybe on an even bigger level, the atmosphere that you want to create. And if you're clear on something like that, then when the perfect chair shows up, you'll recognise it.
And so if we're using that metaphor into your business, it could be when you're hiring people to work with you, or the kind of clients you want to work with, or how you want to deliver your value proposition, how it embeds that. How does your value proposition embed itself in other people's businesses, organisations, or their lives? You know, whether it's personal branding, whether it's helping them develop their business, whatever it is, cutting their hair, tuning the car. It's all part of actually what do you want to be known for, and why is that important for you, for others? Absolutely.
And from a personal branding perspective, I've had some very, very interesting and sometimes very funny conversations with clients. And they say, well, if I'm going to get a brand, should I have braces? Should I wear a certain kind of jacket? Should I wear a certain pair of socks? And I just look at them and say, you can do what you like, but ultimately, what do you want to be remembered for? And if your business is being a speaker on stage, do you want people to be focused on what you're saying and the profound wisdom you want to share, or do you want them to be focused on what you're wearing? So what's your focus for your business? What are you trying to achieve? And what do you want to be remembered for? There's a lot of people, coaches particularly out there, who are getting businessmen and women to look at what do they want their legacy to be? What do they want to leave? Right, yeah. You know, it's the old tombstone epitaph, you know, got here eventually, but something a bit more profound. What do you want to be remembered for, and have that be your guiding light through whatever and wherever the journey takes us.
So really, whether it's 2015, 16, 2020, these are great lessons to live by. Jackie, I want to thank you very much for taking the time and effort, making the effort to come and see us today and sharing your thoughts with us. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, Erkan.